Glue Media Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Three Quarters to Play. I am your host, Mike, and this is actually take 2 of this episode. Some of you might have saw that I posted this on YouTube, and you saw it, but I'm taking 2 because I realized the audio did not record because I did not have my microphone settings correctly, so all you heard was the audio from the camera, which is fine. So we got to redo here, so I apologize for that. But anyway, before we get into this, I just want to mention some Air Glue Media plugs. I want to plug a few things. Tomorrow night, which is May 23rd at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Air Glue Media Roundtable will be getting together where me, Joe, and Albert get together and kind of just shoot the shit. So we'll be doing that tomorrow night. And also, there's a bunch of other things. You should probably like and subscribe to this channel on YouTube if you could, our Facebook as well, and our Instagram if you could. So I'd appreciate that. But anyway, let's get on to what I originally got to on the deleted version of the video that I did before. But anyway, so we're here to talk about Pac-Man, the 40th anniversary cabinet, which is right here as I'm recording this. So I got this the other day. It was supposed to get here on the 21st, but it actually came here on Monday, which it worked out really, really well. So I was very excited about that. So it worked out very well. So in any case, let's get into this. Obviously, Pac-Man, it's the 40th anniversary edition. Pac-Man is like the most iconic arcade game ever to exist. No surprise there, right? So Arcade1up decided, well, let's go and make a 40th anniversary edition and upgrade the Gen 1 Pac-Man machine, which was a smart move. So hopefully you guys got these machines. If you didn't, I'm going to give my opinions on that. That's what this is a review. Hopefully, even if you get Gen 1 or if you're at an arcade, well, you're probably not at an arcade because of COVID and everything. So hopefully you have some way of playing arcade, playing Pac-Man today on the 40th anniversary of that. So, all right. So let's start with the packaging, which is what I had talked about originally in the first video that I did. The packaging is much, much better. Now, I originally thought the package was going to come and it was going to be big like the Star Wars one because it came with a riser and stuff, and so did Star Wars. But Star Wars was a odd shape, so I can see why that was the case where it was a larger box. This seems to be smaller or just on par of the regular normal Arcade1up packaging things. And the only reason I bring this up is in case someone's worrying about when they get shipped and everything and how a box is going to be. And I'm happy to say FedEx didn't destroy my box. It was perfectly fine. No big deal there, thankfully. So, yeah. So the packaging is getting better, actually. The one thing I noticed when I ripped it open and I looked at it, there's less boxes and there's less styrofoam, which I like because the styrofoam is always a pain in the ass to get rid of after you ripped it out and everything. And you got some styrofoam, not much. You got some foam stuff, which was really pretty good. I like that. So that was pretty good. I just wanted to mention the packaging so you kind of know what to get into, and the packaging is getting better, and it's not as a problem as it was in the past with the Gen 1 and Gen 2 stuff. So building this wasn't too bad. This was actually pretty good. I didn't have much of a problem with the exception of 2 things. One being putting on the side panel. After I'd done everything else, you put on the second side panel, and lining that up is always kind of a bit of a challenge for me. I don't know why, but it is. But I got it. You wrestle it around, you wiggle it around, and it's perfectly fine. It went, no big deal. But the one big issue I still have with assembling these things is the stupid clips we use for the monitors and connecting that to the monitor to the side panels. I wish Arcade1up would come up with something better. There's got to be a better solution. Maybe make the holes bigger, make the plastic a little bit bigger so we can get in there with a screwdriver or in our hands, our fat fingers like here. That would be nice. I think they need to do that because that connection's just it's flimsy at best. It's always it wasn't that bad this time around. In the past, I'd have to go in an angle, and it would get all wonky in this. And this one, for the most part, the screws lined up where they needed to be, and it wasn't that big of a deal. So I just wanted to mention building it is still relatively easy. It's not a big thing, and even those stupid connections, it wasn't the worst thing. So, uh, let's get into the game choices, which is one of the big reasons why I got it. So you get Pac-Man, Pac-Man Plus. That was on the original arcade Gen 1 for Arcade1up, and it was fun. I liked both of these games. I play Pac-Man more than anything else. Super Pac-Man, still getting my legs on that one. Not so good. Pack and Pal, pretty good. Pac-Lan, which is what my daughter loves. Pac-Mania, and Galaga, which is kind of the main reason why I bought this. I know it sounds weird because it's Pac-Man and it's the 40th anniversary and all that. But I liked having Galaga. I was gonna get a Galaga machine originally, but back in the day, I bought Rampage, and I think Galaga, it had problems with the wiping off of the thing, so I was concerned about that. So I bought Rampage. I held off on Galaga, hoping that they would improve on maybe the next version of Gallagher, and they didn't do that. They just kind of gave the deck protector and all that stuff, which was fine. It was a good fix and solution for the moment. So I just held off, and I was going to get a countercade version of Gallagher, but I said, nah, I'll hold off. So I got Pac-Man, the countercade Pac-Man, and then of course I got the Gen 1 Pac-Man, which is right there behind me if you're watching on YouTube. Um, so yeah, I got that, and then Gallagher. So that made it easier, and the playability, because we got all these games. It seems like it's more enjoyable. It's not going to be too monotonous. There's a good variety, I think. So that's kind of why I jumped at this one. I thought this is a good, good upgrade from the original one. So let's get into the controls, because the controls on the original, they weren't bad, but they weren't the best. One of the problems I had with the originals is actually the joystick. I always had a problem with it because it would just this here, when I was going up with the joystick, it would stick now and then, and it wouldn't go up, and that was frustrating when you're trying to rack up your high score there, and it just wouldn't work. That was my biggest issue really with it. That was, and it wasn't even that bad. It wasn't like a deal breaker or anything. The cabinet's still enjoyable. It would happen sporadically. It wasn't all the time. So the controls, I'm happy to say, on this one are improved. They work very well. There isn't an issue at all as far as I can tell right now. The original one, the top would spin off. You'd have to put the plumber's tape on it and tighten it down and everything. That's not a problem now, thankfully. So they are improving on that. That's good. However, we have a few issues. And be honest, to say this, I was relieved when I opened it up and my marquee was not upside down, because originally when I got my Gen 1, this was upside down. And I'm highlighting it with my mouse here. That came upside down, and that was a bit of a problem for me. Obviously I got an upgrade. I went with the lighted marquee, and I'll try to point. See, it's right there, the original. It's lit up by Game Factory. To Arcade1up's game credit, they did send me a replacement for the Gen 1, and I have it. I just never put it on, and I upgraded to the light up marquee because that's what we all want, right? So I'm happy to say when I opened the package, I didn't have that problem. I was waiting for, because I noticed someone on, and I mentioned it last episode, on episode 13, that the that some marquees came that way. It was upside down and stuff. So this is still kind of a problem, and I don't know why that is the case. So mine came fine. Aesthetically, this cabinet is awesome. It's better than the first. I like the wood panel. The controls are good. I love that the screen is pushed back. It's slanted. It's great. It's comfortable to play, and I like that. I don't even mind that the marquee is recessed back. That doesn't bother me. I actually kind of find it unique, and I really do enjoy that. I don't have an issue with it. I know some people kind of don't like that. The only issue aesthetically is this here, and I think we all can agree in the community that this should have been wood panel, and this should have been black in the front. But maybe the licensing agreement that they had, they weren't allowed to do that for some reason, or they were just trying to break up the pattern. For some reason, Arcade1up decided to do that. So I don't know. It's an interesting choice. There's going to be, Tyler at Arcade Graphics is going to remedy this situation. Telstar Arcade, they're going to correct this. It's not going to be a big deal. It's an easy fix. But, you're buying it, you shouldn't have to do these mods, but we like to mod them or change things or customize it in a way that it's more our machine, if you will. But let's get into the few issues. The one that's more of an issue than the sound issue for me is the smoothing effect, which I didn't think was going to be a problem because I'm not like this, like a hardcore, everything's gonna be exactly as it was in the arcade and all this other stuff. I'm kind of lenient with that. I'm kind of I'm kind of what their Arcade1up is going for. The older gentleman that's in his 40s, played these games in the arcade and just wants to relive and capture that and have fun and show his children or my daughter to play these games and enjoy it and have a good experience and a quality machine. And then they did do that. They nailed it. The smoothing effect kind of bothers me with Pac-Man. I didn't think it would because I'm not like I said, I'm not all like, oh, okay, it's no big deal. It's not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. It's not that big of a deal. But, it just bothers me. Maybe they were doing this because, the other games like Pac and Pal, Pac-Land, and Pac-Mania, maybe they needed that smoothing effect and it kind of bled into the original. I don't know. Maybe, or the conspiracy that I have going um, with all this is, yes, the conspiracy music plays, is that they did this purposely so they could try to see how the USB uh, feature works on this cab, where they can give us a software update. We put the USB thing in, it does it, and things are good. Now, that's my conspiracy theory. That does not mean I'm correct. This is just a bunch of nonsense on my part, and me speculating over completely nothing. So don't take it too seriously. I mean that. Arcade1up, if you're listening, I hope you're laughing at that because that, pointless. But anyway, so, yes. So the smoothing effect kind of bothers me, but it's not a deal breaker. It shouldn't keep you from wanting to buy it. Now, the sound issue, which is the big complaint, I guess, from everyone, is the one that doesn't really bother me too much. And I don't know why. Because when I saw Retro Ralph talk about it and console kits and P-dubs and all them, and then I'm thinking about, oh, this is going to be on one, it's going to sound like it's 10. I thought that's what was going to be the case. With my particular machine, that's not the case. When it's on one, it is loud for one. It shouldn't be that loud for level one. It's like a level 5 when you leave it at 1. So it doesn't really bother me because I leave it at 1 and it's no big deal. When you mute, mute it, when you put it to 0, I guess that's muting, you can still hear it a little bit. So you could technically lower the volume and play it. It's not ideal, but I don't think this one setting is a big deal. Now, Retro Ralph has given some solutions, which you can find on his on the Facebook group page. He's got them posted there. So there's a few solutions he's got. He's got some links and stuff. He found one, I think, for $10 was the cheapest one he could find. So there are solutions to this, and I'm sure Arcade1up is going to send probably the USB thing where we go and download the patch, put it in there, and we're good. The smoothing effect and the volume thing is fixed. Or they'll send out something where they replace it themselves, like they did with the gates for Burger Time. So they will resolve this. It shouldn't be an issue, though. This should not be an issue. I'm giving them a pass on this because of the COVID thing, and maybe they rushed this out of China to get it to us, and they couldn't control the quality as best, like they normally would. So I'm going to give them a pass on this one. Now, NBA Jam, I might not, but I'm going to do that next week with a podcast on that. We're going to talk about that. So just be aware that you can still play. It's not annoying when you play it. It's loud for what one is, but it's actually like level 5, if I had to guess, which isn't too bad because that's kind of where you'd want to be. 5, 7 is really the sweet spot where I want to be with my volume with these machines. I don't really want to go full on blast. That's kind of crazy. So it's a problem. It should be addressed, and I think they'll address it. It's not too big of a deal. So now, do I recommend this over Gen 1, the Countercade, and the Wallcade? If you can find Gen 1 for $50, $75, $100, or even $175, I would say that's not a bad thing. Go with that. I recommend it over the Countercade. I mean, the Countercade's a unique, special thing. I bought it because it was a gift for my daughter, and we threw it down here. The Wallcade, I can't speak for experience, but I think that's not bad. It's got Galaga and Galaxian, I believe, is on there, so that's not too bad either. But it is an upgrade, and it is aesthetically pleasing. It's a pretty good thing. I love this machine, despite the few flaws. Plus, it's got the USB thing where they could kind of fix these problems. I believe. I could be wrong on that. Retro Ralph will probably point you in the right direction with that stuff and console kits. But I think that's how they're going to do these patches. Instead of sending a PCB board to you directly, I think this is how they're going to do it. We'll see. We'll see in a couple of weeks. I'm sure they're working hard and figuring out that problem. So for me, I have the Countercade. I have the Gen 1, which you see behind me. And so I got, Gen 1 over, I'm trying to point here. It's so weird on the camera. Gen 1 over here, and then I got the new 40th anniversary over here. So I'm running out of space, so I got to be more. This is like it for Pac-Man for me. I'm not going to get another Pac-Man at all. Although I speculate what they'll do in the future with this cabinet. And Retro Ralph, if you're listening, I know you have that Gallagher and Pac-Man cab that's pristine condition, and if you ever sell it, I'd like to buy that. Actually, it's very appealing to me. I bet you that's where they go next, and that's going to drive me nuts because I like that whole split with both designs and I would assume that's where they'll go. They'll milk this IP for all it's worth, and they should, right? It's not, why wouldn't you do this? So I think that's where they'll go in the future. I will probably have to sit out another Pac-Man because now we got Frogger and we got Golden Axe coming out. We got NBA Jam. Then we got Pinball. I got a section for Pinball I'm going to put. I will find space, but as far as Pac-Man goes, I'm not going to upgrade this unless I bring the Gen 1 Pac-Man into the Shed of Solitude. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I have a shed that I go to listen to music, watch YouTube videos, smoke a pipe, tobacco pipe, by the way. Not the green leaf stuff. I don't do that. Drink a few beers and some whiskey, just to get away and have a kind of peace of mind is where I go. I may put that in there because I have room. There's electricity out there in the shed, so I may do that just to free up one space for I don't know what cabinet I'd put over there. Maybe Frogger, to be honest, would go there. So as far as this, do I recommend it? Yes, it's a pretty cool cabinet. It's an upgrade. It's definitely worth it. And again, the variety makes me think that this is worth the price, the $400 price, basically. I think it's worth it. So I don't know. If you walk into Walmart, what do you do? Do you choose this or do you go with the Gen 1 that's at a cheaper price and then maybe save that money for like pinball in the future or something else or an accessory to go up on the wall or something like that? I'm not sure. What would you guys do? I'm curious what you would do. So that's pretty much going to be it. I will be streaming some gameplay, which will work out a little bit easier than the other ones because you can see it's like right here and my computer's right here and all my equipment's easier to wire things and not do the cockamamie thing I had to do for Rampage, Final Fight, and Star Wars and all that other stuff. It's right here, so it's not that big of a deal. And I think the camera angle will be better as well. So that should work out. Look for me to do that next week. I'll do that a couple of nights. I might do that because I'm obviously got all the games to play here. I'm going to go through each one of them. So I'll play Pac-Man and Pac-Man Plus originally probably, and probably Gallagher I'll play every time I do the machine. So yeah, look for that next week. And again, check out Air Glue Media this Saturday with the roundtable. Like and subscribe to us. And, we're going to, a lot of different content's coming soon. A lot more of this stuff and all that. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I hope you guys have a great long weekend. Stay safe. Have a few brews. Enjoy being around the family. And I will catch you guys on the next one when I talk about the quality issues that I have concerns with NBA Jam coming. Till then, everybody. And sorry for the mishap with the downloading and all that stuff earlier with YouTube and stuff. But this audio should be working correctly. Fingers crossed after I end this broadcast. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys later.